Well, how Hunter children do this year? The Queen Quet coming to Hunter right here for Gullah Geechee TV. Well, you know something? I always say if Hunter there with me, Hunter going know this year what going on. Well, let Hunter know what going on. Now, every year, most of Hunter children done know since 2012, we to celebrate this year thing right here called Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week. Well, the way that thing usually works, the week end with the Gullah Geechee Nation International Music and Movement Festival. Well, this year, we make sure that we behind the festival during Black Music Month. And we going on and continue the work we've been to do with this year festival since 2005. For the week even been started up, where we've been to reconnect the Gullah Geechee diaspora. So Hunter children should know, say the week been start off in Choctown, downtown Choctown, South Kakalaki, Charleston, South Carolina. And when it fought there in 2012, we going on with them all through different parts of the Gullah Geechee Nation. But guess what? Choctown start off with a route coming across the water from Barbados. Yeah, long time back. So for the first time, official delegation of we Gullah Geechee going back home to Barbados. Oh, Hunter children, they been a time, yeah? From the time we get you on in the airport on through. Children, grand did it, mother be did it, with down, so we are all that kind of thing like that. All Hunter children have to see this show. Now, see plenty of time when Hunter going down there, you ain't going to see these kind of tradition and thing like that way behind for all the way back yonder, all the way back generations and thing like that. This part, the culture way still a try for hold on to. So Hunter children, look in and see what it's drawing.
I mean, no, like a year or two.
100 children, ain't that but something? Y'all probably get tired of watch we dance in it. I know plenty of 100 children will be there from Facebook and they y'all tell me that. So y'all better get tired for watch we dance. Well, it been blessed up for me. I ain't been nowhere as tired like Reverend James Cleveland been say. So the next morning, early, we have to get up a thing and go on school with the little children. Great, what time. But he been packed. But guess where I going? To my aunt park, Queen Park. Oh, that thing been blessed up. It had the bow wow tree there and all that kind of thing. But the true roots been in the words. 100 children for tune in and get it, what we heard. How many of those? It looks like what we did to see yesterday. Good morning. How are you? It's like you wake up looking like this. No. Oh, it's a hard work, girl. Jennifer?
Yes, good morning. Hello, yourself. Thank you. Good morning.
In the water.
Yes.
Good morning.
So that's how I am here. Yeah, this is Mary.
So what's your last name? Archer. Archer. Okay. Wonderful to meet you.
Queen Kwek, Chiefess of the Gala Gichi Nation, her delegation, Dr. Christina Morris, Ministry of Education, and Dr. Hall, as well as the other members of the Ministry of Education. I think Dr. Hall is from the Ministry of Tourism. We want to welcome you here this morning, teachers, students. This is a very beautiful day in the life of especially young Bajans. The day we get to witness the return of a number of family. And I'm sure during the course of the morning, you will get to hear a lot more from the Queen herself, and you will also get the opportunity to ask some questions as part of that. But before we get into her presentation, we want to show her some love, and we want, in our own way, to show her our appreciation for being here in Barbados and reclaiming more or less her heritage. We want to start by asking the little ones to lead us, and we are going to George Lemon Primary School for a welcome by Kian Harris.
Good morning. Good morning. Highly esteemed guest, Queen Cat, Chiefess of the Gullah Geechee Nation, Elder Carly Tony, Minister of Information, member of the Gullah Geechee delegation, Mr. Neval Greenwich, Honorary Consul of Miami, officials from the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, members of the media, specially invited guests, dedicated teachers and fellow students, good morning.
Good morning.
It is my duty this morning to welcome you to this auspicious and indeed historic occasion. Historic because we anticipate that for years to come, our peoples will speak favorably on this event. It is our hope that this cultural exchange will foster greater appreciation and understanding for the need. Especially since we share deep African connections, and from this bond, a brotherly and synergistic relationship that will foster ties today and beyond. Without further ado, welcome.
Sweet. Now give another round of applause for that. As I said, the little ones will lead us. Definitely. So I want to move very quickly along to our senior now. From the Ministry of Education, representing the ministry, is Dr. Christina Morris, and she is going to give you an official welcome.
Queen Quet, Chiefess of the Gullah Geechee Nation, Elder Carla Towning, Minister of Information, members of the Gullah Geechee delegation, Mr. Neval Greenwich, Honorary Consul of Miami, Dr. Carrie Hall from the Ministry of Tourism, Mr. Winston Farrell, Head of Kick Dust Productions, my fellow colleagues of the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, members of the media, teachers, students, a pleasant good morning to all of you. I extend greetings and a warm welcome on behalf of Mrs. Karen Best, the Chief Education Officer, to Queen Quet, Chiefess of the Gullah Geechee Nation, and to the official delegation of the Gullah Geechee Nation. A warm welcome is also extended to the teachers and students from the various schools who have joined us this morning. It is indeed an honor and a privilege for us to reconnect with our brothers and sisters from across the sea. As will be demonstrated here today, there is an undeniable link between us that should be recognized, fostered, and strengthened. The Ministry of Education is committed to, in the words of the Gullah people, taking care of the root for healing the tree. We recognize that our country, region, and the globe faces significant economic, social, and environmental threats. Certainly, with the start of the 2019 hurricane season, we are reminded that climate change is not a myth. As we plead for divine intervention to spare our nation from any cyclones that may develop. And while we in Barbados say that God is a Bajan, perhaps as a means of blissfully ignoring local and global challenges, we know that it is through education that the minds of our people, and in so doing, we know that it is through education that a sustainable future can be achieved. Education has the power to reroute the minds of our people, and in so doing, help us to embrace our history, our heritage, our ancestors, and to truly embrace our roots as a means of safeguarding the future and, I dare say, of healing the tree. This is why the Ministry of Education is grateful to you, Queen Quet, to your delegation, as well as to the Barbados Tourism Marketing Incorporation for choosing to engage and interact with our youth as part of your visit to Barbados. Our African cultural heritage must be immortalized by passing on the values, mores, and traditions to the young. We have an increasing responsibility to ensure that this transmission is not left up to information technology search engines such as Google and Bing, or even to the most well-constructed textbooks. The transmission model we adopt must be one that immerses our children in a climate of rich and authentic experiences, not the often diluted version that the click of the finger may provide. This is why this interaction today is so important. These children, these digital natives who are in our presence this morning must be able to navigate the globalized world with their identity intact. Now, this does not mean that we do not capitalize on the advances made with technology. We appreciate that the story of the Gullah people is not only being preserved in the people themselves, but also you have been able to share your culture with the world using radio, television, writings available on Kindle and many other sources, and of course the general social media. Queen Quet, we are also aware of the production of the popular film Underground, which you directed. Your approach exemplifies how the African diaspora can preserve its identity while adapting to the ever-changing world. More importantly, you have shown how an understanding of African values positions us to advocate for and practice living in harmony with the earth. The Ministry of Education has been quite successful at sensitizing our children to their African cultural heritage. For more than a decade, the month of February has been designated and celebrated as African Awareness Month. During this period, special attention is paid to celebrating our ancestors and their stories, to recognizing our freedom fighters, and to highlighting the cultural elements that provide evidence of a people who resisted their enslavement to retain and preserve their traditions. It is my belief that many of our children have had their ideologies reshaped, rerouted, and their dormant African identities awakened. However, the time is right for our children to deepen the links made with Africa by connecting with African people across the globe, those living in the homeland and those in the diaspora. Our children are fortunate to be born in a time when the available technology can help them to navigate around and to overcome geographical boundaries. We have witnessed that across the globe there is a yearning for truly uncovering our identity. Thus, we are hopeful that today's interactions will give rise to a cultural exchange between the people of the Gullah Geechee Nation and the schools in Barbados. I look forward to hearing the stories from teachers of children recognizing that we are not the only ones in the world with the word like wuna to mean you, or that a Sea Island friend confirmed for a student that macaroni and cheese is best when it is baked in a pan. Beyond this exchange of the material elements of culture, however, we will be the strengthening of relationships among African people through the recognition of our common African heritage, while taking on different flavors, remain etched within our spirits. Today is therefore one of celebration. and promise, as the representatives of the Gullah Geechee Nation have crossed the seas to reconnect with us, the African family in Barbados. The Ministry of Education again expresses appreciation to Queen Quet and to her delegation for sharing the culture of the Gullah Geechee Nation with us. We invite the teachers and students here to use this interaction as a means of deepening understanding and appreciation of our African cultural heritage. Best wishes are therefore extended for a continued successful visit to Barbados. I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Morris. Beautiful words. At this point in time, we want to introduce you to an iconic Bajan song written by none other than Dr. Gabby Carter. And it's being sung by a young lady from the Springer Memorial School, Kinola Greenwich. And the song is called Emerton.
You tell me to forget that my grandmother was born right here, so alright, I say I shall go. And you tell me to forget, it is here I want my own children to grow. Alright, I say I shall go, but I hope you understand how I feel about Emerton, my homeland, my homeland, my homeland. And I hope you know it's true that I will never forgive you, because look what you do to my Emerton. You tell me to forget that you bring bulldozers and push down the houses, so alright, I say I shall go. And you tell me to forget that you bring bulldozers and push down the houses, so alright, I say I shall go, but I hope you understand how I feel about Emerton, my homeland, my homeland, my homeland. And I hope you know it's true that I will never forgive you, because look what you do to my Emerton. And you tell me to forget that you uproot my people and scatter them to and fro. Alright, I say I shall go. And you tell me to forget that you did them wrong things and didn't let my children know. Alright, I say I shall go, but I hope you understand how I feel about Emerton, my homeland, my homeland, my homeland. And I hope you know it's true that I will never forgive you, because look what you do
she is a very interesting person. She was the first student here this morning. And she was outside, and we were still doing some stuff inside. And she said, "Can I come in and help?" And she actually came in and helped. Give another round of applause. I just know. That's what we want our young people. You know, those are the kind of attributes we want from our young people. It is time for me to introduce the Consul General for Miami, Mr. Naval Greenwich, and he's going to share some love with you. He's been traveling with the delegation, and I'm sure he will have something very special to say, not only about his work as Consul General, but his relationship with the Gullah Geechee.
Thank you. A very good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
That ain't for me. A very good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I want to hear the children. Good morning to all the students here. Good morning. Sounds better. I can live with that one. Thank you. Let me say what a pleasure and a privilege it is to be here this morning. The young lady, Kenola Greenwich, I believe she has the voice for all Greenwiches because she's the first that I hear that could sing. I've never seen her before. We are not related, but I can tell you that voice should carry you far. Because Greenwiches ain't known to be nobody that could sing. So I wish you well. But let me start by referring 2 points here that were made earlier by that beautiful young lady who gave us the welcome address. And the word she used was one that we came along hearing in our villages called auspicious. It was a word that we grew up, everybody thinks it's an auspicious occasion. And I can tell you that, especially for you young ones who are 2 or 3 generations behind us, if ever there was an auspicious occasion in your life, it is this morning. The song that Kenola sang is one of my favorite calypsos. And she spoke about the fact that they scattered our people abroad. And the people that are here this morning with us from the Gullah Geechee Nation are people who are resulted as a result, of the scattering abroad of our people 350 years ago. And so you, the children of our next 3 or 4 generations, should find extreme pleasure in welcoming back those people to your nation, to Barbados. Because the next 100 or so years from today, this occasion is going to be mentioned when they made their first visit officially back to Barbados in the history of our nation. And so probably 50 years from now, you will say, when it is history, you will say, I was there on that morning in Queen's Park. Like many of us can remember, even though we weren't there, the morning when Errol Barrow raised his hands on the garrison when we became an independent nation midnight on the 30th of November 1966. That's a moment we will never forget. Just like we remember when Sir Garfield Sobers was knighted on the garrison many years ago, that's a moment many of us will always remember as well. When you grow older, today on the 21st of June in the year 2019, you'll remember that you were in Queen's Park when the Gullah Geechee people made their first official visit, 349 years to be exact, when their ancestors were scattered abroad. And you will also remember that Kenola sang the song Emerton, which so aptly depicts real life of people like us and the Gullah Geechee people from our nation. But having said that, let me and the fact that you are already officially welcomed. I am the representative for the government and the people of Barbados here this morning as your Consul General at Miami. And I want, on behalf of our Prime Minister, the Honorable Mia Amor Motley, on behalf of our Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Kerry Simmons, and our Minister of Culture, the Honorable John King, to welcome all of you here, as well as our Ministry of Education and our Minister, Santia Bradshaw, and your Chief Welfare Officer, who was just mentioned by the Educational Officer, Ms. Best. I want to particularly say that we are happy that your teachers and your staff at your respective schools took the time out to welcome these beautiful people from the Carolinas here this morning. The other point I want to make is that we have in our midst a lady by the name of Dr. Kerry Hall. And Kerry, these youngsters should get to know you. Do you mind standing and let them see who you are? Let me say that when Dr. Hall was first at the Ministry of Tourism, and she is a tourism specialist and makes significant contribution to both our tourism and our cultural development, that she knew of the story of the Gullah Geechee people and felt within herself that it is too dormant a story and too significant a story to remain dormant, and having done so for so long. And she took it upon herself, and I told her only last night that when I got to the Carolinas, Elder Carly and many of the other people I met in the Carolinas were in full praise for the contribution that she has made to the development of this story over the last couple of years that she has taken on the task of bringing this story to life. And what a wonderful job you have done so far, Dr. Hall. I want to thank you on behalf of the government. Yeah. And let me say that the story isn't completed because there is a documentary that is going to be screened in Barbados on the 20th of August, featuring the scattering of our ancestral people from Barbados to the Carolinas and the connection between the Carolinas and Barbados. And only a short while ago, in discussion with Dr. Hall, one of the things that she made mention of is that we have done an exceptional job in telling the story of our Eurocentric history, but our Afrocentric history hasn't been told. And to my mind, we as a people should be far prouder to really develop our Afrocentric history, because we are all part of that, than buying the Eurocentric history that has been taught to us over the years. But what we are also quite able of doing is writing with both hands. We can be ambidextrous. And the same effort that they have put into teaching us Eurocentric history over the years, I can assure you that going forward, and based on the efforts of this Caribbean and Barbadian lady here who I know, highly intellectual, very enthusiastic to spread the Afrocentric story, she is going to take on the task of ensuring that the story doesn't end here. And I can assure you that as long as I'm in this position, and I know we have some cultural icons currently in our present cabinet and in our government, because our Prime Minister is one of them. She believes in culture. And in fact, she was involved in culture for a long time before she was even in politics. Many of you know John King, who was steeped in culture over the years. And they are going to give us that support in ensuring that the Afrocentric side of this real, true, and living story is even brought to life even more. And so, Dr. Hall, I look forward to working with you as we go forward on the continuation of the saga of Days of Our Lives. And so with that, I want to say as well that since I met the members, like I said, I went to Miami knowing the history of the Gullah Geechee people, but with no intention of picking the story up. It just came to my desk that I need to start to work on it. And I thought, you don't need to start. You need to do is make sure that the story continues. And that the players who were in the play before continue, and that you be an act within the play. And even though I'm just a very minor act in the play, I want to assure you that I will continue to grow in this play because it is a play that is worth playing. And so, Queen Quet, who is the head of the Gullah Geechee people, she is an elected member. Don't think that she is here because she's a beautiful black woman, or because she's a sister of the soil, or because she's a very intelligent woman, or because she's steeped in culture. She is all of those things and more. And so it is my pleasure this morning to bring Queen Quet, the queen of the Gullah Geechee people, of the Gullah Geechee nation, and her delegation to Barbados. My pleasure to introduce her to you as she makes her presentation. Thank you very much again, Queen. The floor is all yours at the invitation of our MC as he comes back to the stage. Thank you all very much. God bless you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Before we bring the Queen on to make her presentation, this is an interesting morning. I didn't plan this. This was planned outside of our realm. The young man who is going to sing a song from Harrison College, Renan Hackett, he's doing an interesting song. We had a Bajan song, and this one is now an American song, I'm pretty sure. And I'm sure you're going to love it. It's a reflection of what is happening right now in terms of the morning. Welcome, Renan Hackett, doing, I think, what a beautiful work.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Before I start, I just want to say this song, although it's slightly different from our culture, it really talks about wherever you go in this world is beautiful, and we should really take time to appreciate how wonderful this world is. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people.
Thank you. Give us a medal for all. At this time, we want to introduce to you Queen Quet and the delegation from the Gullah Nation. I hope you have an inspiring encounter. We look forward to some questions and answers at the end. Thank you. Give her a round of applause.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I be a slave, I want me to bury my grave.
Good morning. Thank you so much. I want to thank everybody for getting this together for us because we are truly with family now. I want to thank you for coming out and bringing with you all the love that you have for us. We bring you our ancestors. We are the bridge to our ancestors. We bring you the love and the faith that our ancestors had. We bring you everything that you need because we know who you are. You are our family. I would like to thank God for having us here today because if it was not for Him, we would not be here. But I want to thank my strong ancestors, those ones who were able to live even after they had suffered so much, coming to Charleston, South Carolina. But we now know it's not just Charleston, South Carolina, because we have our humanity now. Gullah Geechee people, the Gullah Geechee Nation. I want you to say Gullah Geechee Nation. Gullah Geechee Nation. Yes. And we bring with you today our queen, Queen Quet, chiefess of the Gullah Geechee Nation. She has traveled all over the world, telling people who we are. She's gone to England, to Africa, everywhere. She's a scientist. She's an environmentalist. She's a loving, compassionate mother, and she's a loving person. She loves her people so much that she sacrificed her life to be here, to be there for her people. And we want you to know that she loves every one of us. Because if she did, she wouldn't be here. So I want you all to do one thing for me. I want you to always remember who we be. Because we be Gullah Geechee anointed people. I want you to turn, wonder about where your secret be. You're connected to the Gullah Geechee. And if people think you're any further ado, I would like you all to please stand and give Queen Quet her honor and due. Please stand. Jacksonville, Florida. You see? So I'm going to hear about the people with cracky teeth like Alicia. They're the whole family. What come from? What kind of island? What they tell me? What they say this island your name is? What the name of the island we on? Barbados! Y'all didn't know where you did? Y'all know Barbados. You ain't know you did? So he tell me, say, Queen. Well, who there from St. Island? You know it takes the people from other islands and can't first to this your island. They have Solomon's Island. Can you say Solomon's Island? Solomon's Island. And I said, I want him. What on earth crack the people? Solomon Island here right there when they call Charleston. They said, yeah. Said I'm first African with teeth. They're not going Al-Kebulan. Can y'all say Al-Kebulan? See that in the name it called Africa. Before it started, Lord, we would call them Africa. So plenty of time, when the Bakwere become on the rest of the place, it changed your name and thing. Once they get there, they're not cracky teeth about how the rest of people will be there. Cracky teeth and sale. So to the Igbo, Mandinka, Balenke, Yoruba, Gola, Gizi, Mende, Temni, Ifi, Ibibio, and all other countries, their cracky teeth call themselves that. But when
they take we ancestors, they try to wipe out all in there and try to call them slaves. But some of them don't answer to that talk. Because they say, I know none of you. You never not slave. What I say, lick the people, put my dollar laugh on the people back, and then for broken spirit down. Telling people things say, they're a slave for truth. And Solomon Island, the way they have past house, how we ancestors chain up there, sometimes for weeks. Then they try to break his spirit. I mean, now they down for nothing. And you're weak. And now do all kind of things to you. They carry you, chain up, and carry you downtown. Then Peninsula, carry across the water. But they're now called the Charleston Harbor. And it gets you on a place called Gadsden Wall. And they get on there, stand you up, and allow the people to look on you, and bid on you, and pay for you, and carry you from your mommy, from your daddy, from your sisters, your brothers, your cousins, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, big daddy, mommy, and papa. They carry you. You don't know if you want to see them yet. And plenty of them will cast off when you see islands. Then I see people that want to talk. They throw one group right there on the peninsula. And now people start up a town there. And then I near that thing over from Chicra to Carolina for Princess Caroline. And she never see the place. But they never got for she. Then in there, please fuck you. Charlestown. And I never see the place neither. And I never got for he. So they shut there. They said Charlestown. And Charleston, South Carolina. So when you get there, you look right at these like this shit, and people speak like you speak over here. But know that when you speak like this language didn't come from Africa. This language came to Africa. And this language bound a lot of the children of Mother Africa and chained us away from our African culture. And they tried to think that even when they took the chains off our arms in January 1st, 1863, where we are from on what kind of islands did I tell you? The Sea Islands. When we were on the Sea Islands, we heard say, this man Lincoln, who is the president of the United States, said he is issuing a proclamation that those who are fighting against the Union that the colonists had formed, who had seceded from that Union, that anyone he held in bondage as slaves would now be free. That wasn't for all Africans in North America, but that been for we. And they read that thing for the first time on an island called Port Royal Island in Beaufort County, South Carolina, the county I'm from, where St. Helena Island is. We had a celebration back then. And Port Royal Island, we had a celebration back then. And we even celebrate now because emancipation came. Our freedom. But now this week, in an island called Galveston, Texas, they celebrate a thing called Juneteenth. Because they didn't know they were free till June 19th, 1865. 2.5 years later, they got the word. Another field order was issued to tell them they're free. But you know, sometimes I leave St. Helena and I go from Beaufort County, what is the second oldest county in South Carolina, and I get to Charleston, the first oldest county in South Carolina, and they sit one where they call it Piazza, where a little bit of sweet tea or some swamp water. And I study about that thing. And I say, well, what happened to children? So the children must still ain't get the emancipation proclamation in it. There ain't no sin free now. Well, you see other African people and say good morning. And they just look at you. Just say, how are you? You say good evening. They just look at you. No cracking teeth. I saw a great God, the children free till they fool them and they must say free too. And I studied about that thing. I say, you know one thing? The family broke up. We're not hearing what the elders say. And the elders learned me, said, manners will take on where money can't. So you don't care where you get up for go. No, say, somebody come before you. And you probably wouldn't have no road to travel on if somebody didn't blaze that trail for you. So our ancestors that came from this island didn't come by choice. They didn't come like some people come now to the Caribbean or the Caribbean by cruise. Because they choose to come. They went on a ship. They went on multiple ships. But it wasn't fun. It wasn't a party. It wasn't nice. No one was having fun and singing and dancing and things. They had them chained together closer than we are sitting together in here now. And I wonder why, without the chain, why we can't hold tight and close to one another now. We can choose to do it, and we don't. You say, well, how want to do? How you gonna do? You good? How want to do this morning? Excellent. Yeah, you got better. See, going from good to excellent. You see, this is a good thing. You always want to go higher and higher. You want to go from bad to best. You want to go from good to excellent. Your life was in this generation, and I'm telling you, Sister Morris, when you ask the children, do they? You yell at them, you say how you feel, they say, I good. And we children do the same thing. We say, well, they get better. Good ain't good enough. That's right. Because we ancestors knew that even when people say we want no good, it wasn't true. Because that's not what God said. When you see the Gullah Geechee Nation flag, you see it says, we be Gullah Geechee anointed people. The word Gullah means people blessed by God. So how can you be blessed by God and only be good? You are great. And you know what? Them same people who teach we, from where did I tell you we used to call Africa what? Start with an A. Hard to pronounce, right? Alke Bulan. Can y'all say that? Alke Bulan. Let me show you a trick so you'll remember it the next time. Do it like this. Alke Bulan. Alke Bulan. Alke Bulan. Alke Bulan. Alke Bulan. The way it? Bulan. When they came from Alke Bulan and they came to the what kind of islands again? Sea Island. That started where now? What city? Start with a J. Jacksonville. Jacksonville where? North Carolina. And it's going down to Jacksonville what? Florida. And then, you guess what? We go 30 to 35 miles inland to a river called the St. John's River. Can y'all say St. John? St. John's. Y'all got plenty of places here in the council near St. John. You got St. John, and you got St. George, and what else you got? St. Mike, St. Thomas, and St. Michael, and St. Joseph. Well, watch this. And which one? St. Lucy, and St. James, St. Philip, and St. Peter, and where? Baptist Church on St. Helena Island. So how much holier can you get? Even outside of Charleston, which is called the Holy City. Where else would the descendants of the Bajan people that were settled on a peninsula, when people were trying to keep them in bondage, people were trying to break their spirits, but they survived and they thrived. Where else would you call that land but a holy place? They say it's the holy city because there you can turn 360 and you can see a church every time you move. But I think it's because the blessed people of God, the Gullah Geechee, settled that city they called the Holy City. And they made it rich. So rich that even the Madamadan, who, when we in the beat, we drum and dance, and I celebrate who we are, that try for Tifa from we still hold power. And we still fight back in the Stone Rebellion and all of that. Yeah, they call we Gullah, call we Geechee, call we Black Seminole, call we Maroon, call we Cimarron, call we all these young names, Muskoka, even in Mexico. Because we fight, but we freedom. Because we know the richness we had, and they do it too. That's why they try to take the intellectual property out of the motherland that we call Africa now. But you called it what before? There you go, Al-Kebula. And so when they keep that richness, they thought they would be the only one to benefit from it. Guess what they called us? Black gold. Anyone here ever heard of gold that was not rich? You said yes. What kind of gold is that? Fake gold? Because I have never heard of anyone having gold that was just throw it out in the street and let you take it. If I said behind stage we have gold and we want everyone who wants something to come up on stage, raise your hand if you would come up on stage. But you would have to catch me because I'm going out the door on the side door with all. But we don't need that kind of gold that the man made. When God made black gold, and that is the richness of our Gullah Geechee story, our Gullah Geechee heritage, our language, our traditions, our culture, which is ever connected and intertwined, as you see in our flag, human bodies forever intertwined together. We can never be separated. So our ancestors who came from Barbados are the first bodies in there, along with the Igbo, Mandinka, Baleke, Yoruba, Gola, Gizi, Mendi, Temni, Ifi, Ibibio, and all the other African children were teeth from Al-Kebula after 1670. So we story don't end in 1670. We story don't end in 2019. We story don't end because I could fly here now instead of ruin. But I tell you what, it felt still like we had the road to get here. Because it's been more than a decade since we started making connections between the Gullah Geechee Nation and our homeland of Barbados. We've been rowing against the tide of people who say, oh, black people don't work together. We say it's no such a thing. And say, well, they don't want you back there, they're not Bajan. I say it's no such a thing. Because there would be no Gullah Geechee if they ain't the first for them Bajan. But not all of them stayed on the plantation. Some of them say, we going to get out here. We going to be free. Because we know God bless we. And we be Gullah Geechee. And so, this your thing. And honor the Gullah Geechee. And honor the Bajan. And you say today, all of we be free. And all of we the family, stand on your feet with me. Yeah. 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 Oh, free. Lee, the elder Carlington, we minister information for the Gullah Geechee Nation. Please give her a round of applause. We have my assistant, a native, a Choctaw, as they call them, Charleston, South Kakalaki, Sharon Marion, right there. Give she a round of applause. We got one of we Lily chillin'. I know your chillin' said, I ain't no chillin' there. That's all my neighbor, because we see the chillin', okay? We got one of we Sweetgrass Basket Traditions Keepers. Sister Anastasia Ketchins from Mount Pleasant, South Kakalaki, representing Charleston. I know y'all say, well, you tell me where she from. You tell me where she from. She not there from nowhere. No, she from somewhere too. She from a place in Charleston County called the Heights. Yeah. Union Heights. Yeah. But now, when you come across the water from here, cross the Atlantic, you can most land in we yard. I from an island called St. Helena Island. I south of Charleston, we're there. Okay? But they come down the creek, they be there in no time. Okay? But now, this your one? That fella come from way over in the Gulf and come back to the coast. Because some of the ancestors with teeth and cap all the way over to a place called Mississippi. Let me see something. Y'all learn how to spell Mississippi? Yeah. How y'all spell Mississippi? See, that ain't even how you do it. How you spell it, y'all?
Mississippi. That spells.
Listen, you ain't doing it right here. It's F-I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter, I, humpback, I. That's how we learn to spell Mississippi. All right? So now, you have there, drumming today, Brother Kwame Shaw. Give him a round of applause. And rounding out our delegation is another connection for the Gullah Geechee Nation, because he actually was born in Nova Scotia, Canada. So when I got here and saw Scotia Bank, all I did was tap Kuma and say, Kuma, look at your bank over there. And he just smiled, right? And so here it is, you have Kuma, Goodwine Kennedy behind the cameras right there. So I cannot thank our BTMI Sister Hall, Dr. Hall, my cousin Carrie, I call her. Oh, Sister Morris, I walk up to you and say, oh my God, you're my second cousin at the door. She looks like my family, right? And the Consul General who we've been traveling, it seems like we've been traveling for days, even though we just met up yesterday in the airport, and I'm gonna make y'all laugh. He was doing his job. He was over here. He is finding out in the airport who are these people and are they tourists, and they're talking about they're coming back home. The young man had a daughter and had his sister and his wife, and he said, oh, I'm Bajan. He said, you're Bajan, where you from? And he said, well, you know, I left when I was 3. He said, you don't know nothing then. You don't remember nothing then. So he is telling them how we got to stick together, how we got to fight together, how as people of African descent, we are all one, how we got to stay united, Brother Winston. He was letting them know. He was loving them. Said, go read by Willie Lynch and don't be Willie Lynch, because Willie Lynch tried to make us divide from one another across the plantations. And I'm standing right next to him. He don't know. And I'm listening to the whole thing. And finally, this assistant is trying to give him the eye. He ain't paying her no mind. All of a sudden, the Spirit said, tell him to look back. He looked back. Oh my gosh, the Queen! And I got the biggest embrace I have gotten in years. And everybody in the airport now is like, wow. It was so powerful, so wonderful, and it's memorable. I will never forget. I was already welcomed home to Barbados before our plane even left the ground in Florida. So thank you so much, Counselor. Thank you so much, Counselor. And so I can't leave out my brother who I know is ready to come back up here. Because Brother Winston came and represented like nobody business Barbados last year at We Gullah Geechee Nation International Music and Movement Festival. He brought them down. Powerful Brother Winston. So, but Sister Deborah and Sister Petra and all said, oh, Winston Farrell is going to help work on your homecoming. I said, oh yes, I know it's going to be fabulous. I had no doubt in my mind. We had such a wonderful time. It was a short visit, but a powerful visit. And this speaks to keeping our word and speaking things into existence.
Yes, exactly.
Because did I not say to you, the next time I see you, I'll be on your island, right? And this is the next time I'm seeing him. So thank you so much, and thank you to everyone in the Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Education, the ministries of all the ministries. Because you all have done an awesome job. We really feel welcomed home. We appreciate it.
Before I went to South Carolina, I was at one of my relatives' house and they were watching on the internet story. You can sit. They were watching about the Gullah Geechee Nation on the internet. And I didn't really know too much about it, and I started to watch. 2 to 3 weeks after, I got this call inviting me to South Carolina. And I remember telling the Queen, and she says, there are no coincidences. I want to thank you. It was a really great encounter. And I hope the rest of this visit for you is really beautiful. At this point in time, I want to bring on stage from Harrison College, Cleavon Hunt. He's going to represent the school, and in fact, he's going to represent all the young people this morning, and he's going to make a presentation to the Queen. So let's get this.
Winston, they brought you some beautiful flowers.
They brought you some.
On behalf of schools and teachers here, students representing schools in Barbados, I would like to present to you Queen Quet, the chiefess of the Gullah Geechee Nation, with this bouquet of flowers as a small token of our appreciation.
Thank you. Obviously, Sister Morris, they were listening to you, right? They gave me something with roots on it.
Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, I want to just say to Miss Wade, who worked in the ministry, everybody's been getting some shout outs. I want to personally shout out Miss Wade. Can you stand, please? I know some of us like to stay in the background and do the work. I don't like, give her a round of applause. She was really instrumental in making this morning happen. So I want to really give her that kudos. Yes. And I'm going to close with a poem. You don't mind?
No, I don't mind at all.
And this speaks to the journey. I'm going to keep it quiet. We've come a long way through winding roads, the great white sand in our eyes, our shoulders laden with trials. Hope leads us on through pounding rain, seeping through our skulls. We've come a long way naked, craving for the bread of life, lungs thirsty, dried by the stinging slap of sun, souls angry, crying in the wilderness of death. We've come a long way from the curling lash, the master's whip sliding across our backs like a snake. We've come a long way from the logic of the white man, from the ignorance of our black brothers, merciless tears gone from our wrinkled eyes, black wanderers in the graveyard of terror. We've come a long way, so I will raise my hand and shout out, Lord! Words will not strangle and die between my teeth. I must speak, for we have come a long, long way. Thank you. If you have any questions right now, I'll take one or two before we shut it down.
Well, one thing, I have a question. Can y'all stay right where y'all are? Kumar, you come up here. I'm coming down there with the flag. We're going to do a group shot. Y'all don't mind, right? No? Nobody got words because I ain't going to put you on Facebook. July 2nd, 2000. So how many years has that been? There we go. Excellent. This is my third term as queen.
What is it like being a queen?
I couldn't hear you.
What is it like being a queen?
Ooh, what is it like being a queen? Okay. Normally, let me get a little demonstration from my cousin Carrie, please. Come, cousin Carrie. Normally, you see the shoes my cousin Carrie is wearing, and she's styling. That's the type of shoes I love to wear, okay? I usually wear them even in the sand everywhere I get to wear my long gowns and everything. But since they told me I was going to be shouting and running and jumping in and out of things, I didn't get to wear my nice heels. I go into her house and keep a few pairs while I'm here. But so, thank you, cousin Carrie. So being a queen, a lot of times people only look at the clothing. And they only look at the pretty pictures and go, oh, queen, I love that gown. I love your hair today. I love this. But it's work and responsibility. Because there's a lot of falsehood now. People just say, well, I want to call myself a queen. Well, you can't call yourself a queen. But know that when you call yourself something, God gives it to you. You have responsibilities back to God. And so queens work. Queens have to pray for their community that they represent. Queens have to go out in the political arena even when you don't want to and speak to others, because I'm both a queen mother as a spiritual leader, but I'm also a head of state. You heard the council say that I was elected. I was elected head from the body of the Gullah Geechee Nation. So I'm the president, essentially. I'm the official head of state for the Gullah Geechee Nation as well. So I have to go and negotiate with other heads of state from around the world, work with other governments, sometimes go to some very boring meetings and sit there for hours. But I can't do this in the meeting. I have to sit there and pay attention like you should do in school. I have to take notes, and I have to call out things when they're not protecting the human rights and self-determination of my people. And that everybody doesn't like. And especially being a woman leader in the world, a lot of people definitely don't like that. Oh, oops, a black woman leader in the world. Oh, a lot of people don't like that. So you don't always have friends. So being a queen, the same person who today will go on Facebook and click like and say, oh, you look good, and put a gift up there looking like they for you, will say to somebody else, I don't like her. And so you think I cried? No. Even when I was your age, I said, well, some people like things and some people don't. Some people like certain people and some people don't. But the Bible says to have a friend, one must be found friendly. So it's never about how other people treat you that matters. It's your response to the treatment. So if you always respond in love, trust me, God will elevate you, and definitely your enemies will be made your footstool. So being a queen is not an easy job. It is a 24/7 job. You don't get vacation as a queen, you see. so it's a lot of duties and responsibilities that may involve some of the things you love doing, like I love singing, I love dancing, like I got to dance into Barbados last night, okay? But then it may also involve you having to just pay attention and learn new things and see how that can help your people. I do a lot of work now about climate change, about sea level rise, about ocean acidification. But I love that because I'm a scientist. So when I can use my mind and use the scientific part of it, I love it just as much as when I'm singing, dancing, doing poetry. So I've always used the left and the right side of my brain. And so as a queen, it's important you can do that because you have to be strategic. And so a lot of times people don't use the word strategic and black woman in the same sentence, but I think it's been used for me a lot of times, okay? So I love that my people elected me as their queen, because that said, they not only respect me, but they trust me. You see, and the trust will take you far, as well as the manners. So manners won't take on where money can't. And truly, being a blessing to others has caused me to get blessed as a queen. And so, truly, it is a wonderful thing. It is a blessing from God to be a queen. It ain't an easy job, though, but it is still a blessing, no matter what.
So that's it for today. I hope that you had an interesting morning and that you learned a lot. And don't leave it there. Just do some more research.
Yeah, and before you leave, I'd like you to do this for me. How many schools are here? 6, 5, 4?
No, more than 4.
How many?
1, 2, 3, 4. About 5?
5? Okay, so first I'm going to start with this school here. Call out the name of your school for me. What's your school?
Hinesbury Primary School.
Okay, the next one?
George Hamlin Primary School.
That's all on that side, right? There's another one?
Yeah. Westbury.
Okay, and then here?
Or the Johnson Secretary.
Morrison College Secondary School.
That's it. Anybody else? That's it. And one lone Springer Memorial student. The girl who did the song.
Thank you to all the schools, all the principals, and everyone that made it possible for the students to come out. I'm so happy that I had the opportunity to meet all of you. It is truly a blessing. Take it.
Thank you.